After a couple of months away from triathlon and any type of training, I am back and straight in at the deep end. The GTN team has thrown me a challenge, one which no one else was available for, apparently. Anyway, I have to attempt to complete as many sprint triathlons as I possibly can in one weekend. What could possibly go wrong?
I should probably start by explaining what a weekend warrior is and why I want to be one. I might struggle on that latter point, but usually a weekend warrior is someone who does very little exercise in a week and sort of binge exercises on the weekend. Instead of drinking loads of wine, you go and do loads of exercise. Well, I've come to the Blenheim Triathlon. It's a stunning venue here, but it's a sprint triathlon, which sounds great. Get it done, dusted, you can then go and have your glass of wine afterwards. However, the weekend warrior is an attempt to do as many of these sprint triathlons as you can in one weekend. Yeah, I'm still not really sure why I'm doing it.
The standard has been set high. Last year in 2020, a new record was set by Stephen Mott, who completed an impressive 11 sprint triathlons back-to-back over the weekend. With a 750-metre swim, and in this case, a 19.8-kilometre bike and 5.4-kilometre run, it equates to a total of 8.25k of swimming, 217.8 kilometres of cycling, and 59.4k of running. Oh, and then you've got the long uphill transition from the swim to the bike, and of course, getting from the run finish back to the swim start.
Right, I've got two ways in which I can approach this. I could just see it as a sprint and go all out and see how far I can kind of keep going, or I really pace myself and treat it more like an Ironman and kind of, go about it more slowly. I've got my Wahoo Element, Rival and Bolt, which will communicate to each other so I can have no excuses when it comes to pacing. And I do slightly worry, though, that I might just, think it's a sprint triathlon, which it is, and cross the line with nothing left. All right, so this is where I get my compulsory excuses in. And please don't send me to our excuses video. Just hear me out on this one. I am very unfit. I've had 2 months in Japan where I've not been able to swim or cycle and had a couple of weeks quarantine. So running has been a little bit sort of to the wayside as well, because I was there for work. Sadly, not a training camp. So it's going to be a bit of an experiment, and I really have no idea what my body can actually manage, but I'm willing to give it a go. So it's probably time to go and wrap my bike and get ready.
Because it's just so great to be at a race. Like, we've had such a year and a half, and just to see everybody else who's excited, which I'm fueling off that energy, which I'm hoping is going to get me through, because I don't have fitness, so I've got to go with enthusiasm and what it's about. And it couldn't be much more of a beautiful day. It's absolutely stunning here, and it's not too cold, and everyone's really happy and smiley, so hopefully I'll still be feeling like this at the end. We'll see.
Weekend! Come on, let's do this. Head on into that.
done, and who knows how many to go. Well, that's the nerves out the way at least, and I'm now familiar with the course. The extra transition, however, is a different challenge. No time for a finish line celebration, it's straight through the finish and a run all the way over to the lake to meet my team. Well, I'm lucky to have Adam and Jonty sorting my kit, taking my trainers and my race belt from me, and helping me into my wetsuit. And their role doesn't stop there. I'll hopefully be met with a fully prepared T1 and T2 by the time I exit the swim.
For the second time, take two. I'm not gonna get excited. Got a few more to go. It's the best bit of triathlon, the recovery when I get to eat lots. I'm gonna leave the jelly babies in here for tomorrow, but I'm doing sensible nutrition. But this is the hard part because it's really weird. I don't think I've ever done a multi-sport event when, yes, I recover, but I normally recover with some chips and a few glasses of wine, and that's probably not gonna help me for tomorrow. So I've kind of got to like do what my body needs, but also still get ready for tomorrow. And I've had a massage. I'm going to maybe put some compression tights on and just, put my feet up and hope that when I wake up tomorrow morning, my body will still function, because I'm not sure it's going to. Well, goal for tomorrow is to make sure I'm still smiling at the end of it, because I've had such a lovely time today and it's just been great chatting to people and doing this beautiful event. So that's the key goal. And then it's an earlier cutoff, so I need to actually look at the times and see if I need to push myself, because I don't know if I maybe need to try and like actually set a target time, because today I just kind of went and did it and then I just missed a cutoff, which was a bit frustrating, and I'm kind of going in hindsight, oh, what if? Could be dangerous, but yeah, I might actually target a number and some times. We'll see how I feel in the morning.
Oh, I feel hungover and as though I've been run over by a bus. I only had one glass of wine last night, so I'm guessing the 5 triathlons took a little bit more out of me than I realised, and adrenaline must have got me through the day. It's hard to explain right now, but my body hurts to even touch, and my mouth is so dry. Note to self, I need to rehydrate better. Anyway, I can't imagine even beginning, let alone completing several triathlons, so I'm not going to try. It's going to take all my focus and effort to get through this first one, and then hopefully the crowd and another dose of adrenaline will see me through the rest of the day.
Well, I survived, as you probably realise by now, and I was even still smiling at the end. And it's kind of bizarre to think now how I was really fearful of this event. I thought that I was just going to fail. I couldn't imagine my body being able to do more than one triathlon, and I thought, well, how is this going to be a GTN video if I don't get past one, having done basically no prep for it. And it's amazing what endurance kind of base you don't realise you even have. So yeah, I was just hugely happy and relieved to have managed it, but also to have such a good time. The run especially. So I mean, on the bike I got more and more confident each lap and just started to really enjoy it, and felt slightly guilty being on the lovely Canyon speed mats because I was just flying past people on the downhill stretch, just kind of resting with my aero bars, but I was going to take any kind of help I could get. And then the run was just kind of a big party. Everyone was just having so much fun. Well, okay, some people were in the hurt locker, but most people were just happy to be out doing an event, and I had some people to chat to. There's actually one guy I have to do a shout out for, or two. Kieran ran several laps with me and put up with me chatting away to him. We just happened to kind of be a similar pace on the run. I think I was quick on the bike, on the swim, he was quick on the bike, so we kind of met on the run, and that was just really nice to have someone to talk to. Bumped into a friend towards the end as well, on one lap when I was really struggling and I had a really painful stomach, but it just distracted me for long enough to kind of get me through a section of the run. And yeah, it's amazing, I think, what the power of the brain can have over the body. I think one of the hardest parts, which did surprise me, was actually the fueling, because I love food. I think that's not really something I hide, but when it comes to an Ironman, which is pretty much the distance that I covered, you get plenty of time on the bike to take on food and digest it. But this, it was, well, quite a sort of intense lap anyway on the bike. So you've got some sort of sharp downhill bits that are quite fast, and then the uphill bits are quite steep. And there was never really a time when you could kind of just relax and think, okay, I'll take on food now. But also, you didn't have very long on the bike. Well, I was on the bike for about 40 minutes and then I'd be running again. So it was, when do I eat? And I was finding that I just wasn't hungry. And I had a bento box full of all sorts of treats. I mean, if you had a look in there, you'd be shocked. I basically just put everything in there and thought, well, surely I'll want something out of it. And I kind of kept opening it. I was like, I think for the first couple of triathlons, all I had was one Jelly Baby. And I was like, oh no, don't like that. And then I realised I'm going to need some fuel. So I started drinking a carb drink, which I hadn't tried before. Yeah, don't tell me. I know. I should know better that you should not try something new on race day. And whether it was that, whether it was dehydration, whether it was just the fact that my body was kind of in shock. But towards the end, I think it was the fourth full triathlon, my stomach was just in bits, and I had to I was like refusing to walk, but I was running a bit bent double. I was in so much pain. I was like, come on, you've got to get around this. And that was definitely the low point. And I mean, I always knew something was going to sort of restrict me, but I didn't think it'd be my stomach. I thought it would more likely be my legs. But you learn from every triathlon you do, don't you? And it's really funny how my mentality changed throughout the race or the event, because I started off the day genuinely going, well, I'm just going to cruise and try to preserve my body and see how far I got. And then I suddenly started going, well, hang on, I could be competitive. Like, how many triathlons can I actually do? And it wasn't until the fourth one that I realised I could maybe have a chance of getting in a fifth one before the cut-off. The cut-off was at 2:40. I crossed the line of the fourth one at 2:42. And it's really weird to think that I was then almost annoyed that I didn't manage to get in another full one, when at the start of the day I was like, I just want to be able to do this. So I still had time to fit in another super sprint, but it did mean that I could just completely chill on that last one, because there was nothing more I could do for the day. And I just went really slowly and kind of enjoyed it, tried to use it almost as a warm down, but part of me still had that bit of annoyance. I was like, oh, what if I could have found 2 minutes here or 2 minutes there? So yeah, it's weird, isn't it, how you can just suddenly go from being just excited to have done it. And now I've had a chance to look at the results, and I have to admit I am totally shocked. So I'm just going to have to share them with you, because I'm actually quite proud of this. So I finished 4th overall in the Weekend Warrior, and I was first woman. I completed 9 triathlons in total, so 7 of those were sprint and 2 were super sprint, and no one else did more. And it turns out it was the overall time that gave us our positions. So my times, I covered a total of 214.6 kilometres over the weekend, so not far off an Ironman. 11 hours 53 of activity, plus about 500 metres of running every lap because you had to get back to the transition, but not going to go on about that one. But yeah, my times 1:23, 1:23, 1:28, 1:25 on Saturday. Sunday 1:26, 1:26, 1:27. So not too much different. And then my super sprints were 57 and 55 on Sunday, so I finished strong.